Ecouia, and I'm the founder and creator of Silky Saks. I'm here today to bring you video 3 of our Boss Up series, where I come to you and talk to you about opening up a business and giving you tips. Today's video, we're going to be talking about tips to help you build your website. So a lot of people were asking me how to build a website on our last video, how to launch a website. So if you have already built your website, then I will put the link down below. I highly recommend you check out how to launch your website. I give you some great tips on how to launch it. But if you are not sure how to build a website, I'm going to help you with that. I'm going to give you some tips. My girl, is that your girl Bree, asked me to do this. So Bree, I hope this will help you. Now, I want to put this disclaimer out here right now. A lot of people, if you're expecting me to show you and actually go in and show you how to build the actual website, I'm not going to do that because there's a ton of videos out there. I think it's more informative to help you figure out which web hosting platform you want to build your website on. So for example, do you want to go with Wix? Do you want to go with Squarespace? Do you want to go with Shopify? Do you want to go with WooCommerce or WordPress or some of the thousands that are out there? Hopefully these tips will help you figure out and be able to narrow down which one you want to go on. And then once you figure that out for yourself, then you'll be able to go and watch a video, because there's a ton of videos out there for almost every platform on how to actually get it done. So this is going to be a long one, but I'm going to do my best. Please try to watch to the end because I promise it'll be worth it. I'm dropping jewels, okay? So you want to pick up what I'm putting down. Now let's get into it. I am an entrepreneur. I own the business Silky Saks, where I sell luxurious silk line bags that I actually created. The link to the website will be down below. So I do have experience. I do have my own website. And my website, I actually did build it as far as I could. And then there were certain things that I didn't know how to do. So I did hire out to do the rest. But yes, I have built a few websites for other businesses as well. So I kind of know what I'm talking about a little bit. So the first question that a lot of people ask, or the first thing that people want to know, is which web host should they choose, or which website builder should they choose? And to that, you guys, there's really no right answer. It really depends on these 3 things. Number 1, your budget. How much do you want to spend? Usually with these type of platforms, you can either pay monthly or you can pay annually. So you really want to take the time to look at your budget and see how much money can you spend, because the prices vary. And so you want to make sure that whatever platform that you go on, that you can actually afford to be there. I know a lot of them will give you a discount if you go ahead and do the annual thing, but for some people, monthly works better. It's just all about what works best for you. And this is why I'm saying it's better for me to give you tips, because I don't know what everyone who's going to watch this video's budget will be, but you know your budget. So take the time, if you don't know your budget, to figure that out, because as the process goes along and as the video goes along, it's going to help you be able to determine exactly which website hosting you want to go with. Also, with your budget, you want to think about, are you DIYing the website? That means, are you doing it yourself, or are you going to be hiring out? If you're going to be hiring out, you also want to keep in mind how much budget or how much money that you will be able to spend to hire someone, because depending on the customization and the actual platform, hiring out can get into the thousands very quickly. So you just want to have all those kind of factors in mind. Number 2 is your purpose. What is the purpose of your business? Are you a blogger? If you're a blogger, then you probably want to go with WordPress, because WordPress has a lot of customization, a lot of options, and I think it's pretty much standard at this point for bloggers to have a site through WordPress. Are you doing more of an e-commerce business? I know Shopify is extremely popular. That is who I go with. But, you know, other people have done Wix. I've had Wix websites. There's people who have Squarespace, Weebly. I even think GoDaddy has sites now. So you really want to think about what type of site that you're going to have. Are you just an influencer? And I shouldn't say just influencer, but I mean, are you just using your website just to showcase your work and your videos, etc.? So you really want to know what is the purpose of your website, because later on, that is also going to help you be able to pick which layout to go with. Another thing that you really should be thinking about at this point as well is, are you going to be updating your website, or are you going to be hiring that out? Because if you're going to be updating your website, then you probably want to go with something that's a little bit more DIY friendly, like a Wix and a Squarespace. If you have a little bit of budget and you don't mind, then I would go with maybe Shopify, because you can build it, but I'm going to be honest, if you don't know HTML or a little bit of coding, Shopify can be a little bit challenging, so you might need to set up a little bit of a budget to have someone help you, like I did with mine. And the third thing you want to know is style. What kind of style do you want for your website? Do you just want something really simple? Do you want something extra customized with pop-up boxes and chat boxes? Do you want the parallax style site where the squares move up and down? So you really want to take the time to think about these 3 things, because these 3 things are going to help you as you go along the process. And with there being so many options out there and so many things to go with, knowing your budget, your purpose, and the style of your website is really going to help you narrow down which platform is best for you. Then once you know what your budget, purpose, and style is, you put some thought into that, then you want to go ahead and purchase your domain name. Now, a domain is your website address. So for example, mine is silkysaks.com. Yours would be whatever your business is, .com, .net, .biz. What else do they have now? There's so many of them, and it really doesn't matter. I think most people stick with .com, but people are used to .org now, .biz. It just depends on what's available. I would recommend that you keep it as simple and as short as possible. So like if your business has the name Enterprises, maybe ENT to shorten it. Even though I'm a corporation, mine is just Silky Saks. It's not Silky Saks LLC, but sometimes if that domain isn't available, then you may need to add some things to it, but just try to keep it as simple as possible. You also want to take into account if you have any kind of extra fancy spelling. So for example, Silky Saks, I spell it S-A-K-S instead of S-A-C-K-S, but I do own Silky Saks with the C.com so that I can lead people if for some reason they spell it wrong. If they go type in silkysaks.com or Silky Saks the way we spell it with the K, either way you will get to my platform. So that's something else that you might want to keep in mind is your spelling. I know a lot of people do creative ways to spelling, and that's fine, but when it comes to people finding you on the web, a lot of people may not get creative with the spelling, so you really want to think about that. Purchasing your domain name is pretty cheap. I went with GoDaddy. That's the one that I recommend, but there is a few other ones that you can go on. Usually you pay for those annually. It's up from 1 year to 5 years. Again, it's whatever is in your budget, but you definitely want to make sure that you lock that down, and lock that down as soon as possible because you don't want other people taking your domain name. Okay, so finally we're at that part now. You've got your domain name, you've thought about the style, you know your budget, you know a little bit of what you kind of maybe want the website to do and the purpose of it, the features that you want it to have. Now it is time to go ahead and choose what web hosting company you're going to go with. So web hosting is just the platform that you choose that's actually going to host your website. So I used Wix when I first started, and then I moved over to Shopify because I felt like for an e-commerce business and a hair business where I'm selling a few different products, the back end on Shopify I thought was a lot better, and some of the analytics that they gave were a lot better. They also have more apps, but Wix is super easy if you want to DIY. I know Squarespace is as well. Weebly. I think WordPress and Shopify, definitely you're going to have to look into maybe getting a little help with that if you're not experienced with coding. But I know the other ones definitely are more user-friendly, and if you're not used to coding, you might do better with those. I would go ahead and on all those platforms, go ahead and take a look at the templates. A lot of them already have pre-made templates for stores and businesses already. So a lot of you watching this, because I talk about the hair and beauty business a lot, there are already templates that you can use for hair and beauty. A lot of them will break it down in category, and that way you don't have to do so much thinking or having to figure out how to lay it out. The templates are already there. You would just go ahead and upload your information and do it in a drag and drop kind of style. Now, if you're completely lost and you have no idea and you're overwhelmed by the sites and you really don't know what you want or what you should get, a great thing to do is look at your competitors' website. Who are some of your competitors? Who are some of the people in your industry that sell the same products as you or that have the same type of things that you have? Look at their website. What are they offering? What kind of things do they have on their website? That will help you know what you need, and possibly even better, what you can do to service customers better to hopefully have them choose you over your competitor. You can also go and look at websites who brands that you really like, even if they're not your competition or in the same category with you. I know for me, I like a lot of luxury brands, and since Silky Saks is a luxury brand, I went and looked at websites like Chanel, Louis Vuitton, and what I picked up from there is it was very simple, the coloring was very simple, and so I wanted to make sure that my aesthetic had that same thing. So you can also do that as well. You don't have to just look at your competition. You can also look at things that inspire you or websites that you like and try to use that as inspiration. Now, you never want to copy, you just want to be inspired, right? So just look at the things, take notes, mental notes, or even physical notes of what it is that you like about those websites, and then that also can help you narrow down the templates, because there is a lot out there and it can be overwhelming. Now, you figured out what it is you want to do. You know, no, I'm definitely going to DIY it, or no, I'm going to hire somebody. Now you can go ahead and get started on building your website. You want to make sure that your website is a continuation of the experiences that you've probably already built or are building on your social media sites. You want to make sure that you're using the same fonts, the same colors that are in your logo. You want to make sure that you're using pictures that go with your industry. So you really want to take the time to think about your branding and what you want as far as your coloring and your fonts. You want to make everything seamless so that if people find you on social media, which is really, let's be honest, where most people usually find you, once they hit the link in one of your profiles to go to your website, that experience is the same. You don't want people to be liking your Instagram and loving your content and your aesthetic on Instagram, and then they go over to your website and it's like, what company is this? You want it to all be cohesive and be the same. So pictures, you want to try to do your best to have your own pictures, your own custom pictures. But if you can't do that, you also can use stock photos. There are places where you can get stock photos, and some are free, some are not. But you definitely can get stock photos if you don't have the budget to hire models or to take your own pictures. But if you have your own products, you can definitely just do it with your own cell phone, and there's a ton of videos out here about how to do that. Now, once you figure out which web hosting platform you're going to go with, so for example, I went with Shopify. I Googled how to build a Shopify site. Of course, it's going to take you to probably YouTube, because for me, I'm visual. YouTube videos are best. But what I did is, once I went to YouTube, is I sorted by date so that it would bring up the latest and most up-to-date video of how to build a Shopify website, because there is a ton of information about how to build websites on almost every platform there is. But you want to get the most up-to-date information, because how you built your Shopify website in 2015, I'm sure, is not the same as how you would build it in 2020. So many little things have changed, especially in the world of technology. Things change very quickly. So you want to make sure that you're getting the most up-to-date video, and just browse through and see which one works best for you. And then a lot of these platforms have community forums where you can go in and ask questions and get help for people to help you if you're not sure on how to do something or how to get something in the website done. Now, when you're building your website, try to remember to use good SEO. What is SEO? That's search engine optimization. So basically, for example, I am in the hair business. I cater to wigs and hair extensions. I sell products that cater to wig and hair extensions. So I want to use wigs and hair extensions, hair storage, hair bag, those type of key words when I'm writing like my about page, my product descriptions on my blog. So that way, when someone goes to Google and they type in wig storage or wig bag, Silky Saks will be one of the companies that should and hopefully comes up in that search. That is what you call search engine optimization. So websites like Google and Bing crawl websites, and they go by keywords and the information that is on the website so that they can rank it. And you want to rank, of course, as high as possible in these search engines. And how you do that is the keyword. So when you're writing your about page, like I said earlier, product descriptions, when you're actually naming the pages on your website, just any type of way or anything that you can explain or talk about your products you want to do, and you want to try to remember to use keywords. Think about what are words that people who are searching or who would want your products or the problem that you're solving, what would they be searching? What would they be looking for? Try to remember to use those words in your descriptions. Also, once you're done building your website, you want to check what apps these platforms have, because a lot of these platforms have a ton of apps. Some are free and some are of charge. So if your particular template didn't come with a video page, or if your particular template that you chose didn't already have a pop-up customer service or chat box, a lot of times you can look in the apps and find apps to add to it. Some really popular apps that people like to use is pop-up apps, empty cart apps, shipping apps, forms. If you have some kind of beauty service, there's forms or ways that people can go online and book appointments. So those are type of apps that if they're not already built into the particular template or website that you chose, make sure you go through before you publish your website and put it out there to make sure you look through the apps and see if there's anything else extra that you want to go ahead and add to your actual website. Now, you stressed out, you went through everything, you built it as far as you could. Maybe you built it yourself. Maybe you went ahead on Fiverr and Upwork and hired somebody to finish what you couldn't. But you are finally done. You want to take and you want to Google how to attach your domain name to your website so that when people type in yourwebsite.com, voila, your beautiful website that you built will pop up. And again, like I said earlier, once you figure out what web hosting company you're gonna go with, they have a ton of videos on how you can connect it to your website. If you go with GoDaddy, they will also explain to you how you connect your domain name to your website. Another thing that you don't want to forget to do when you're building your website is you want to make sure that you put your Facebook pixel on there. This is really good to help you when you're going to be running ads later on. And I cannot stress this enough, Google Analytics. You want to make sure that you install or have somebody install Google Analytics to your website. Now, a lot of these websites will give you analytics and that's great, but you really want to have Google. Google is the king/queen, end all be all, the god of search engines. So you want to make sure that you have Google Analytics in there helping you, because this will help you figure out who's coming to your site, whether it's women, men, where, etc., etc. So this will be really helpful to you as you move on to your marketing, your branding. So you may want to make sure that you do that. Once your website is published, just make sure that your home page looks really, really, really good, because that is the first thing that people are going to see. So you really want to make sure you have a great home page, something that catches people's attention. You also want to make sure you have a way to get people's emails so that you can continue to build a relationship with them outside of social media, and they're not going to be on your website every day. So you want to make sure that you have a way for them to give you their email address so that you can let them know and send them messages to keep bringing them back to your website. So I hope that was helpful. I hope these tips really helped you out. If you have some questions, I will be more than happy to do my best to try to answer them down below. I hope these tips helped you to build a website. Like I said, there is a ton of videos out there already teaching you how to build the website once you pick the platform, but there's not, in my opinion, enough out to tell you which websites are how to pick one. So I hope that was helpful to you. If you use this information to pick your website, please let me know down below in the comments, because I would love to go check out your website and see what it is that you built or what you have going on. I love my Silky Chicks. So if this video helped you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and then hit the like button so that I'll know that you like this. Go ahead and leave me a comment, share it over on Facebook or wherever with other boss babes or other people that you know that want to open a business or that are trying to open a business. This Boss Up series is my way of giving back and helping people. So if you have a question, please put it down in the description box below of some ideas of videos that you want to see or ideas that you want me to talk about, because that really helps me create videos, because I want to be really helpful and I want to make sure that I'm making content that's really helping you guys. I don't want to just be talking just to be talking, but I do like to talk if you haven't noticed already. But I hope that it was helpful. I hope you got great tips from it. Thank you so much. And I hope to see you in the next Boss Up video. A ton of resources